What's up, everyone, and welcome to the 2022 Texas State Disc Golf Championships, sponsored by Latitude 64. This is the third stop of the Disc Golf Pro Tour, and we are in beautiful Tyler, Texas. My name is Mitch Phillips. Joining me is Hayden Riccard. How are you doing, man?
Excited to be here in Texas, and it looks like we've got some warm weather.
Finally, it is about time after the ridiculous weather and fluctuations in Waco. We're here in Tyler, just a short drive away. And talk to me a little about our card we have today.
We got some good players on the card. We got Kevin Jones, Mason Ford, Albert Tamm, and Connor O'Reilly. Some good mix-up, two Lattice 64 players, and also a dynamic disc player. It's gonna be some interesting here, seeing them play. And as we look at the tour standings, Luke Humphreys
topping the charts.
Woo! I love to see it.
Chris Dickerson also there. Let's check in with Kevin Jones' bag.
Yeah. Kevin Jones, putting the P83s, reliable on the A3s, mid-ranges, of course, but also, he's carrying his new disc, the Reverb, two pieces of them, so you can expect him to rely on that. And then the FX2 and FX3, definitely some good forehand holes out here.
Let's move into Mason Ford's bag. Putting with the EMAC Judge. Leans on a lot of mid-ranges, but with a course at this length, maybe not too much. The Verdict, definitely one he loves. And moving into the drivers, he throws a lot of enforcers, as most of these dynamic players do, and some of those evaders as well. Talking about Albert Tamm's bag.
Albert Tamm, no short of throwing a ton of drivers, especially on his forehands that he's known for. Throwing some glimmers, Opto X, and Ballista Pros. You can talk about, oh my God, look how many Opto X Ballista Pros he has. So many. And Connor O'Reilly, also sponsored by Latitude 64, putting with the Faith. He actually has his own stamp of those. They're sick. And also going to be throwing a lot of drivers. Leans a lot on the Pioneer, backhand, forehand, and then a lot of the Opto Explorers, able to really work a lot of the lines when we do get into the woods here. And this course is new this year. You have 4 holes of dogwood and now 14 holes of
a new mix-up, kind of a bunch of different courses.
It was interesting to watch practice rounds and stuff. In practice round, it was a lot windier than we're going to get here today.
Yep.
First up on the box. Let's get a big round of applause going for Kevin Jones.
Thank you.
Kevin Jones, a player that definitely just has such a well-rounded game.
He does. And, you can see that we've got some sunshine out today because Kevin's rocking the shades.
Yeah, and the shorts. Those are two things we really haven't seen on the Disc Golf Pro Tour
in a while.
Yet. Right, and now we're on hole 1. So 382-foot par 3. Just a beautiful pedestal of all these stones. If you do hit the stones exactly like Kevin has, you're going to be well inside the circle.
11:26 time. Let's give it up for Mason Ford.
And the tough thing about approaching that one is you have an uphill putt coming into it, and you really want to be on the tailwind side if you have any wind of it, because it's an easier putt.
Yeah, and obviously you have the huge American flag there on top, so you're getting a good wind read of what's going on next to the basket. But it's an extremely high up putt. If you're airballing, you're going very, very far.
Mason's lining up over the road hyzer. I like this play because you can crash into it.
Maybe even skip off.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, if it just sat up there, that would have been awesome.
Next up on the box for 11:26 tee time. Let's give it up for Albert Tamm.
And Albert's going with the forehand.
Yep, and look at the fit here. At the pink hat, the pink shorts, throws a lot of pink discs. Absolute class here from Albert. A little bit of a higher line here. This definitely needs to dig.
Didn't have much wind on his shot, so that was really good. So it didn't carry over into the road.
Gets a forward roll.
Let's get a big round of applause going for Connor O'Reilly.
Yeah, Connor O'Reilly, a player we haven't seen in a minute here on coverage, but winning the Delaware Disc Challenge last year, his first Elite Series win, just really making a name for himself. But from Austin, Texas, so not too far from here in Tyler. Great, well-rounded player as well. A little higher than Mason's. Probably not trying to skip off the road to just get it to dig.
That'll work.
And yeah, you can see he's just going to be inside the circle. And laying it up, realizing he's just not feeling that.
And that's a choice that I think a lot of players are going to choose here. If you're not touching the rocks, probably not going for it.
Yeah, I mean, the rocks do go out to probably about 25 feet, probably about where Kevin is. And I mean, you can see that is a full height above him, his own height, 6+ feet above his head. A little bit of a right to left here.
Just short.
Yeah, it's a common miss to hit low, just because you don't want to risk pushing so far. And Mason from a similar distance, checking the wind.
Great putt from Mason. Yeah, you can see being closer on that tailwind side does help with the putt.
Yeah, even Albert checking the wind here, just realizing how this hole can get really difficult if you miss this putt.
And it's also not going to be consistent per player. I mean, wind is never consistent.
Especially here in Texas.
Another great birdie from Albert.
And consistency is something I think Albert has struggled with on the putting green. So being able to hit something, early, get that confidence going is really important, as we're going to see Kevin and Connor tap out a par. But, I mean, this hole played really, middle of the pack, not too difficult, 10th difficult on the day, which is about right and as a starting hole.
So we go into hole 2, 741 feet, par 4. This is a big open shot that you really would just want to push to about middle cut here, almost to this tree. Set yourself up for the approach game. And if you're on the left side, you have an easy forehand to the green approach or a straight backhand. And the good thing about this one, I know a lot of the people in the practice round were laying up even more because of the wind.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if you are off, to the right too much, you can get pretty cut off. But a lot of our players probably going to be going to the backhand here, putting themselves at the mouth of that gap, able to just, like you said, have an easy upshot. It's a little bit on the right side here, but finds a lot of skips from Mason and rolls, and goodness, that ended up being a great shot. And we talked about it in the preview. Albert going to be throwing a lot of forehands here. So smooth.
Yeah, that was beautiful. About the same spot as Mason's.
And Kevin going forehand as well. I guess just trying to be on that right side. And there's a little bit more what you were talking about, realizing that it's only 741 feet, so being able to get, that 400-ish foot shot and be able to set up another long forehand into the green.
And Connor going with the backhand.
Surprised to not see more of the players going for a really large shot here. Really just some stock hyzers.
I don't think it's necessary. You might see a couple players do it, but I don't think it's necessary.
You see Kevin going now to a full driver after a little bit of a shorter first shot.
Yeah, Kev.
Yeah, nice shot.
That looks real nice.
Just a little bit short. Couldn't see it over the hill.
Yeah, it'll be circle's edge, though. Albert from just a bit closer going forehand. Really every driver he's throwing is pink, so.
Real nice, too.
That looks good.
Riccard asking for it to go in. Great line there. Puts him about 15 feet.
Looks great.
Oh, yeah. Another textbook forehand.
I really enjoy the forehand par 4. It's pretty rare that you have that where it's, the most preferred play, as we see Kevin from just outside is low again.
Yeah, he's asking himself to get it up.
And Mason from just outside as well. He's got an interesting little line. Oh, does he split the tree there?
I don't think so. I think it was just on the left side of it. Couldn't see it from that angle of the catch cam.
And Connor from circle's edge.
Great putt.
Yeah, a lot of glide, just good nose control, and his putt is a thing of beauty. And Albert to go 2 for 2. What a way to start it off.
Those are 2 that you definitely want if you can get them. This hole was coming in at the 12th, most difficult. So pretty easy. 35% below that, below par for the day. Not too bad.
Going to hole 3, par 3, 464 feet. This is quite a distance for a par 3, but it is pretty downhill, but very low ceiling. A lot of the players here are going to be reaching for a low forehand, maybe skip around the corner, maybe even a roller if you don't have that over 400-foot distance shot in the forehand. But we know that Albert and Kevin, Connor, I believe so, as well has it. So we're going to see how our players are going to attack here.
If this can stand up, yeah.
Blow the basket up.
That's going long.
Good foot, though.
Wow.
It's going fast.
Yeah, that was nearly a 500-foot flick. Again, a little bit downhill, but the amount of torque to hit the gap, keep it straight. Let's see if Connor can match. More of that left line.
You guys are good.
You hear Mason say, "You guys are good." So he's going to reach for the, looks to be a roller. Very technical roller here from Mason, having to kind of go off the tee pad, pretty odd.
This looks a little early inside. Yep. Just got caught up in the trees.
Oh, wow.
He'll have a pretty simple approach there, maybe a little forehand step out, but Kevin definitely having the distance to attack this one.
Looks good. Get a skip.
Oh, that's just beef all of a sudden? Holy crap.
Oh, man. Yeah, he was right. That did have beef at the end there.
Yeah, maybe a little bit of left to right coming through, just a touch to kind of get it to snap over, as Mason is having to get really wide stance here. Checks up perfectly.
Just a little bit to the right on that putt.
And Kevin from a similar distance.
Did it right out of his hand. A little bit high.
Yeah, he was telling himself he needs to be able to get that putt up, and he definitely did. So being able to make the correction as this round continues is going to be important.
I think Albert has a little bit of a vine in his way.
From this angle, he's got a lot in his way.
Yeah, you can't really tell. Oh, so close. For 3 for 3. Kevin Jones with the comebacker. Good commit.
Yeah, and this hole playing right at par. I mean, not a hole where you can pick up too many strokes. If you get off just a little bit, as even as Mason just had a pretty simple approach. So all of our players going to be picking up a par here on 3. Yeah, still pretty crazy to see Albert go long there. I mean, pushing 500 feet through a gap.
That's a
forehand.
smash.
Yeah,
I know it's downhill, but still, it's impressive. To have that in your bag is awesome. We go into hole 4, 880 feet par 4. All uphill. This one you want to be a little bit left of that tree that we're just passing now, so you can have a easy forehand approach on the outside to this gap over here. It is tough to get through there. but you do want to be left. There is OB over there, so you don't want to go too far left. And then also this green, if you are early right, there's a creek.
Yeah, and a hole that, this first shot really isn't too difficult.
No.
Getting it on the fairway is not the hard part, but being able to attack this green and put yourself in position. And of course, I say that commentator curse. Albert hits early right. Going to have some really weird footing there.
There is a lot of low ceilings out here.
Yeah, and you'll see players go for this kind of hyzer flip shot because of the out of bounds on the left.
Mm-hmm.
You saw Albert put a little bit too much. Let's see if Connor can make the correction. A little too high, but does get a lot of distance afterwards.
He gets out. So I don't know what look he'll have from over there.
Going to be about a 500-foot look is what it's going to be.
Yeah, or more.
Oh, wow. There you go. Chilling.
He's out there, right next to Connor.
I'd
So
rather be
we'll see
there
what
than-
that look is.
And Kevin having this natural hyzer release. Really a shot shape that is just automatic for him. This looks great. Forward skip. Yeah, Albert thankfully has a run up here.
That is
He's,
so tough.
yeah, it's going to be even a hard third shot there for him.
And you see Connor was a little bit off balance there, but able to get as much as he could. It's pretty good distance from being uphill run and off balance.
Big left to right shot here for Mason. If this hooks up,
That was looking really nice.
I thought it was past that, but just that's so close to being exactly what you need here.
This is such a straight shot for Kevin.
Yeah, you heard him say out of his hand, that's a par. And that's, this hole, it played as the most difficult hole on the course today, averaging over a half stroke over par. Let's see if Albert can get this close enough to save. Oh, it catches edge. This is great.
Skip.
Yeah, he's still a ways out, but for it to catch edge and be able to move forward there, gonna have a long look to save.
That's a great touch shot from Mason. If it stayed up on the side of that hill,
It may have
hopefully
slid in.
it didn't slide down into the little creek there.
Maybe some weird footing there too. That's definitely higher than you expect, but that is a good tree.
I think he's in the same spot as Mason.
Yeah. And you can see even after two really good shots, Kevin still is
Great.
way far out, but he does have a phenomenal approach. Tap in par.
That's great control.
Ooh.
Wow, that looked so pretty.
A full flight with the overstable putter. And you're right, Connor did filter down. Just in this kind of casual creek here. Oh, just off the top. And we can now say that there were 0 birdies on the day. 0.
Yeah. It's 880 feet, and it's playing the toughest, and 0 birdies.
I can't think of another time on the Disc Golf Pro Tour that there's been 0 birdies on a hole.
I think we've had some before.
Well, I can say that, but then I guess Waco, hole 15,
We had some. Yeah.
there was, I think there was 1 or 2 rounds where it was 0 birdies. But that hole used to be a par 4.
Yeah, it's brutal.
Then it became a par 3. This is a true long par 4, but it's a super soft par 5. I feel like. So I like the fact that you could go really for it and maybe get a chance at it.
It's just tough because you have to hit your lines and you have to be on the correct side with a gap, and then you're not done when you go to the approach.
Not at
You
all.
can be down in the ditch there. Take us to hole 5, though.
Yeah, it's a par 3, 356 feet. It'll be a backhand, maybe a fairway driver if you're really feeling it mid-range. Really the goal here is to just get through that final gap. Going to be about 300 feet off the tee. So really just keeping that in mind, keeping it straight, working it left to right. This looks really good from Kevin. Good height.
Beautiful, Kev.
Ooh, I'm long.
It was
Yeah.
even
I
long.
like it though.
Slows down, circles edge.
40.
So we get a look at Kevin's form here. Really a true Frisbee form where he just kind of shapes it and angles up exactly where that disc is going to go with his hand leading the whole time. And he always kind of holds on to his follow through just to make sure he doesn't overcompensate or overcorrect and just hits his line.
And I think that's taken from playing professional sport, is that you always want to follow through. That's with any sport. You want to follow through. And I think that's what he's taken back from it.
Yeah, definitely a very precise, as a college football player, precise steps and everything that he does. Just a little bit early from Connor.
Needs to miss this tree.
I needed that pile of grease.
Oh, and he does. Skips all the way up to circle's edge. Getting lucky on the right side. Yeah, and all our players opting for the fairway driver here.
Keep going.
Oh, and we've got Mason Ford's great kick. And for every good kick that a player gets, 5 trees are planted through onetreeplanted.org. And they are planting trees wherever they are needed most in the world.
Yeah, really excited for that partnership to continue here in 2022 with Gatekeeper.
As we get another great putt from Kevin here.
Yeah, his first great putt of the round, finally locking it in. Birdie on 5. Feels really good for Jones.
See if Connor can follow suit.
Just a little bit right there. That'll be a birdie for Mason.
Bringing it back down to -1.
And Connor for the comebacker. Can we sit in it even? Our card, a little bit of a slow start here with the conditions that are happening today. Definitely looking, I mean, we had some players go 4 through 5 earlier on, but Albert's going to get the par
These
here as
aren't
well.
always some easy holes. I mean, look at the hole we just came off of. That's a tough hole.
No doubt. Let's take us to
And
hole 6.
Another tough hole is hole 6, 555 feet, par 4. Really just want to get through this gap here and be on the right side of this bush. Don't want to be too deep. It will eat your disc, and then you'll have some tough getting out over here. The OB, though, look how close the OB is to the back side of this basket. That's going to be a tough and scary putt.
Yeah, this is one of the old dogwood course holes they did keep in play. This Kevin is just breaking this hole.
I think you're going to see this play that Kevin just did a lot this weekend.
I mean, at 555 feet, you filter all the way down there as a par 4. I mean, he set himself up for a pretty good spot, and he
You
can
don't
kind
have
of battle it.
And you don't have a lot of wind to play with. And that's the tough thing right there is there's a low ceiling.
Oh, and he actually
Did he get that tree?
he caught it right at the very end. That would have been a great shot as Albert's going with the forehand. Straight skip.
Yes. That was beautiful.
I mean, this is a par 4 that Albert Tamm just dreams of here. Absolutely laces it. Maybe holding on just a bit long there. But that'll be totally fine. Easy
be a-
approach.
He's got to go around that, though.
Yeah, I'll have more of a backhand into the
Yeah,
green.
it's going to be more backhand. It's got to be touchy. Don't want to go too far.
This needs to slow down. And oh, Mason, this is gorgeous.
He was so worried at the beginning there.
He was. Caught his back foot. And as you predicted, he still has to get around this, and he's blind.
Oh,
Early release indeed for Connor. So unfortunate.
another mistake. Sit. And that goes OB off the kick.
Kind of a weird touchy shot he had there to the forehand, just getting it to slow down. This needs to slow down as well.
That's perfect.
Yep.
Being able to come back for the par.
And Kevin, after the massive drive, we finally get to it, and he just has a little bit of a step out, putting himself, curling it into circle's edge. Yeah, definitely having spotters is a good thing. It's definitely not a shot you can throw in a practice round and try to find it afterwards. Is this left for birdie?
Great putt. Maybe starting to feel a little hot. It's got 2 in a row.
Albert, after going out of bounds, see the string there about near his left ankle. So close to staying in. We'll have this for a par.
Just catching the cage.
Such an unfortunate bogey for him. As Mason has a tap-in birdie, though.
Well, that's what hole 6 can do with that OB just behind the basket.
If disc golf is your game, make Gotta Throw your disc golf warehouse. With a huge selection of discs, bags, baskets, carts, shirts, and more. GottaThrow.com has all the tools to take your game to the next level. Shop online or our Golden Valley, Minnesota store. Free shipping with all online orders over $75. Online or in-store, get what you need for the game you love. GottaThrow.com, your disc golf warehouse. In the game since 1993.
Then into hole 7, par 3, 300 feet. One of the shortest par 3s on the course, but definitely one that does not come with an incredible amount of difficulty. You're going to have this out-of-bounds creek going through the entire hole. You got to cross it twice to this elevated basket. So probably going to see a lot of different shot shapes, forehands, backhands, just really trying to hit whatever line you can in with this technical hole 7.
Oh, God almighty. Sit there. You safe?
And Kevin does stay in bounds, but early out of the hand.
And Mason going with the forehand. Such a touch shot, but looks really good.
Clean shot, Mace.
And skips up next to the basket.
Perfect there from Ford. I like the disking down here to the fairway driver speed, but taking the stability up so you can kind of shape this shot a little bit more, not let it get too far away from you.
I think that's still in bounds. Nope.
Oh, it does kick out. Yeah, hitting that second creek is definitely a possibility when you clip late. And disking even further down to almost an approach disc here. Oh, it's perfect.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Albert Tamm, I mean, he's one of the smoothest forehands in the
You go
world.
into this and watch this right here. He like stops his movement, doesn't move the disc any more forward, and then just snaps through.
Yeah, brings that high above his head, finds the timing, and swoops the elbow through, almost like a tennis shot as you're know, smacking through that. Wonder if that's somewhere in his background.
Good correlation.
But it is a thing of beauty. And that is a thing of beauty from Kevin. Wow.
And able to find the other island.
This is Connor's third shot here. There's some height on that. He was kind of giving it a run, I think.
It's great recovery. Reduce the damage. Another great putt.
Good.
He was
par
outside
save.
circle.
So we rewind this back, get that full jump putt Jones action, dead center pole, saving the par here on 7.
Yeah, I'm going to want to see more highlight reels of his jump putt this year. I know it's coming.
I mean, he says he likes to put himself in that position of just outside circle because that's where he feels the most confident. As Connor finds the unfortunate bogey.
To be able to say that as a part of your game.
Yeah, something he practices, you're locked into. And that'll be 3 in a row for Mason, heating up here as we're getting towards the middle of the round.
And Albert with the tap in as well, bringing it back down to -1. Looking good as we go into hole 8. 564-foot par 4. This is a tough one. It's up there with the next. It's a dogwood left of a shot. You want to lay up to this creek area almost and then approach to get a good look at the basket. And the basket's not an easy approach. I mean, it's protected by all these trees.
Yeah, I think you're just spot on saying just laying it up before that, but even getting to that creek is very difficult to do.
I think one of the reason why this plays tough is because the trees are just everywhere here, and you have to hit that gap.
Yeah, kind of that overstable fairway, maybe even a mid-range. Trying to get him in position. Yeah, it's a shorter par 4, but really a 2-shot. Really deciding where you need to be.
Let's go, Albert. Yeah, dude.
That was really good.
Still so many trees to navigate. Oh.
And that is early right. That's going to be difficult getting to a spot to possibly lay up in.
Yeah, fortunately it's not out of bounds there, but I mean, here in Texas, if you're off at all, any shot off the fairway feels like you're out of bounds.
Great shot, dude.
Good, clean pull.
Yeah, a little straighter than the rest of the group. Gets a lot of action. Dead center fairway. And Kevin is deep in here.
And you can tell how frustrated he is, but I do like that he's still, congratulating his teammates when they do a good shot on the card. So that's nice.
He kicks again. Stays in bounds, though. And that is true. I mean, that's just kind of Kevin as a person. I've been able to interview him a couple times now, and he's just a joy to have on your card, encouraging people, and that's what we're out here doing. I mean, you're throwing frisbees in the woods, enjoying yourself.
Mason doing a skinny line across.
Hit the gap we wanted.
Yeah,
he hit the gap he wanted. So there you know.
Albert going forehand approach, trying to give it some height. It taps a tree and he thanks it.
Shots are a thing of a beauty. They're so fun to watch.
Yeah.
That's still a good kick because it's still forward.
Yeah, he'll be well inside circle there. Kevin's still having to get creative over the top, and he's outside the circle, but he's hit this distance already today.
Why are you shorting it, bro? Are you seriously going to short it?
Yeah, the frustration coming out there, just going to be taking a bigger number than he expected here on 8.
Oh, and just off to the right, just a tad bit, Connor.
And Mason lining up the step putt just a bit outside the circle.
A little floaty in there.
It's 4 in a row for Mason as we rewind this back. Gets the jump putt on hyzer. Great commit there.
Heating up, you can say.
No doubt.
Good putt from Albert as well.
Yeah, it's going to be the double bogey 6 here for Kevin. Brings him back to even after starting to heat up a little bit, but just finding some difficulty here in the middle. Moving on to the last hole on the front 9. It's a par 3, 399 feet. One of the most difficult holes here on the course. Just a forehand flex maybe, or a backhand mid-range turnover with just a little bit of finish at the end. And going to continue on past that is the FPO basket, but getting all the way to this at 400 feet, such a touchy, difficult line that you need to turn and then come back. And I mean, no wonder it's one of the hardest holes on the course. It has it all.
You can see Mason here, unfortunately, goes a little bit high and gets caught up early. Ooh.
Oh, catching the last limb, and that looked so good from Tamm.
And that's a hard thing to do because you're throwing uphill, matching the height correctly. Like you said, this is why it plays as one of the most difficult holes. And this looks really good. He's able to get out of the gap. Still a pretty good distance, but I don't think you're asking for much when you're down that hill so far.
No, on a hole like this, par feels great. As Kevin looks to maybe even line up a roller. Catching that maybe invisible tree right behind that one in the middle, yeah. There's still a lot left there for Kevin.
It's deceiving.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure he's practiced that roller multiple times on this hole.
Yeah, it's what's been working for him, but he definitely has that forehand flex. Is Mason just getting it up there about 25 feet or so.
Even a little bit off.
Mm-hmm.
And it scoots up there for Albert.
You can see even with Albert's height, I mean, he's
he's
over
huge.
6'3", 6'4", and he still wasn't sure if it settled.
Who do you think's taller, Albert or Connor?
I think they're probably about the same.
That's what I was thinking. Oh, give it to him.
Oh, it's not right here. After such a great attempt there, Kevin just off right.
That looked really weird.
Yeah, the glide just kept it up there. He does putt with a pretty deep putter.
Mm-hmm.
But man, that just never came down as Albert's going to have par here. Barely getting
Almost
the par there.
Ooh, scary par.
Yeah, seeing him stand next to the basket here, I do think Albert has a good amount of height there. But it just goes to show the shape of this hole as you're throwing uphill and then a little bit downhill. So being able to
hard to tell.
Right, how far away it is, it's tough.
We had two players take bogeys there. It's unfortunate as we go to our front 9 results. Mason Ford's still up the top there. -3. That 4 holes through that he birdied, I mean, really gave him the lead.
Yeah, and the rest of our card kind of struggling as we check in with the rest of the field, just seeing how they're playing. But, I mean, Calvin Heimberg, -8.
11.
Whew.
That is impressive.
Yeah, the conditions here definitely are for scoring today.
Yes, they are.
We want to say thank you to our Patreon supporters for making what we do here possible at Gatekeeper Media. But, man, scoring conditions perfect for today. Excited to see our players attack the back 9. Be sure to like and subscribe. And we're going to be playing this course all weekend long. Really enjoying it so far.
I'm hoping the weather just stays. That's the biggest thing. Coming from Waco, where we had up and down, I'd like to see some consistent weather for them and just be able to play as best they can. Everybody loves sunshine when they're playing disc golf. Nobody likes cold weather or rain.
Especially
or wind.
after Waco, you're ready for it.
Everybody's just ready to get in shorts and just throw some discs that aren't hard to grip.
Very true. We'll see you for the back 9.